and Mix 93.8. On the line with me, I have Michelle Beetar. Michelle, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much for having me, Damien. Appreciate it.
We appreciate your time. So you work with a company called FICO. Can you tell us a bit about what exactly it is that you guys do?
So FICO, sorry, I had to tell you that pronunciation.
FICO.
We're an analytics and software company, and basically what we do is we help businesses make better decisions using the data they have to hand to really help them drive higher levels of growth, profitability, and customer satisfaction across the customer life cycle.
Okay. Now, obviously it's International Women's Day, and the question of female representation in the field of AI is a really important one, especially in context of South Africa, which recently announced an increase in the unemployment rate to 37%, highest in the country's recent history. So a huge gap there. Can you tell us how your interest in analytics started?
There wasn't a particular moment that I can point to, Damien. I mean, it was really been an evolution. So as my own corporate career progressed and I moved through the ranks, I began to really appreciate that there's a need to interpret and communicate what patterns that we might be seeing in the data we have to hand, no matter what organization that happened to be in, that would allow us to make better and more effective decisions. Basically, the ability to take what we've learned from the past and apply it obviously to the future. And as we've become more digitized, across the span, right? Organizations today, we're producing significantly more data than we've ever done in the past. And so the value of analytics as an opportunity to streamline our businesses, to adjust and automate what we're trying to do is increasing in lockstep. As data increases, obviously we're looking to automate more.
I can only imagine, especially with all the data out there. Now, in terms of artificial intelligence, it's kind of shaping gender relations, creating a few new challenges and opportunities for women. Are there any forms of gender discrimination in the field? And if so, could you elaborate on how these gender roles and discriminations can be amended and fixed?
Yeah, I think even if it's not explicit, the fact that fields like science, maths, engineering have traditionally been male-dominated really perpetuates that trend. The field is mathematics-based, and the simple fact is we need more women to pursue and study careers in the domain to break that stereotype in the first instance. The second thing is that all AI models are obviously trained on data sets, and those data sets frequently have coded into them a level of bias. And it's up to data scientists to correct for this, which is another reason, obviously, why we need more diverse teams. I mean, as recently as last week, the British Intelligence Service published an editorial in the Financial Times where the director himself said, I think it's a himself actually, that teams that develop AI must be as diverse as possible to reduce the risk of bias. So organizations are starting to understand that they need more diverse teams, and those diverse teams in themselves can assist in making sure that the AI that's built does not have any bias built into it.
Okay. You mentioned the need for more young females in the field. For the young ladies out there showing interest in the field, are there any kind of specific courses that they need to study to qualify for a job in AI? You mentioned mathematics. I'd assume maybe computing would also be quite an important one.
Yeah, so computer science, IT, maths and stats, and people tend to think that they've got to have a degree in one of those in order to progress. That's not entirely true. I think in today's day and age, everyone should have some kind of coding background, but looking at, even communication and problem-solving skills are going to be important in this field, architecture and frameworks, linear algebra, probability statistics. So young women looking for a career in AI could follow any of those paths. But there are other unique ways of building a career in AI. For example, behavioral science is on the up. So you may even find people who have studied psychology, as an example. Yeah. But also have a bit of a coding background. That's another route in. There's actually a plethora of information on the web. If girls are interested, looking up what those different career paths might be. But there's a large diversity of sort of approach.
Now, in terms of opportunity, do you find that there's a lack of opportunity for women in the space, or is it just a fact that there aren't enough women going into the field to fill up these openings?
I think there's no lack of opportunity. Our global head of analytics delivery is a lady called Louise Lund, and we're always, as a company, looking for more women. And as I said, there's an appreciation across businesses that they need more diversity in their teams. So, not a lack of opportunity. I think parents, teachers, we talk about it takes a community to raise a child.
Yeah.
That community needs to be supportive. If girls show a passion and want to pursue a career in this field, they need all the support they can get.
100%. Do you have any advice for women looking to be part of the AI industry?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, as I said, it's mathematical based. So ideally, make sure you're studying your maths, keeping an open mind. AI is about solving puzzles. So be curious, bring your passion, and because many of the world's biggest problems are going to be solved using AI, it's going to be a field that is of great interest in the future.
Most definitely, you want to look into fields that are future-proof, especially with the way things are moving now. So I think this is a really fantastic point that you've brought up. And Michelle, thank you so much for joining us on the show today, chatting to us about women in the workplace, AI. It's absolutely fantastic. I hope you have a great week going forward.
Thanks very much, Damien. You too.
Bye-bye. Michelle Beetar from FICO. Absolutely interesting. If you want some more information, this is definitely one of the fields I think that are going to be absolutely bursting in the future. And like Michelle mentioned earlier, the lack of ladies, there's no lack of opportunity. So if you are a young lady out there, if you are friends, family, whoever, chat to them, see if this is something that they might be interested in.